In the early 2010s, thousands of people across the globe suddenly remembered something odd. They were sure Nelson Mandela had died in prison in the 1980s. They remembered news reports, TV footage of his funeral, public mourning, even speeches by celebrities. But there was a problem. Nelson Mandela had never died in the 1980s. He was released from prison, became the president of South Africa in 1994, and lived until 2013. So what happened? How did thousands, possibly millions, of people around the world share the same false memory? This strange phenomenon would go on to be known as the Mandela Effect. Collective false memories. Memory is supposed to be personal, a record of what you've seen, felt, experienced. But the Mandela Effect isn't just about one person misremembering. It's about large groups of people, different ages, cultures, even continents, all remembering the same wrong thing. Let's try a few. The Monopoly Man? You remember him, right? Top hat, suit, monocle, except he never had a monocle. Pikachu's tail? You may picture it with a black tip, but in reality, it's been yellow the whole time. The Berenstein Bears? Nope, it's actually Berenstein Bears. These are not minor spelling mistakes. They are vivid, confident memories shared by millions that simply aren't true. So, how is this happening? Is it just a mental glitch, or is something deeper at play? Memory, the most unreliable witness. Let's get one thing straight. Your brain is not a hard drive. It doesn't record memories with perfect accuracy. Instead, it reconstructs them. Every time you recall a memory, your brain pulls fragments together influenced by context, emotion, expectation, and even suggestion. This process is called reconsolidation, meaning every time you remember something, you're also rewriting it. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus showed how easily false memories can be implanted. In one study, participants were told a fake story about being lost in a mall as a child, and many of them later remembered it in vivid detail, even though it never happened. Now, apply that principle at scale. What happens when a whole society is exposed to the same misleading cues? You get a phenomenon like the Mandela Effect, the internet memory's greatest trickster. In the pre-digital world, if you remembered something incorrectly, it stayed private. But in the age of the internet, your memory gets amplified and possibly contaminated. Forums like Reddit, websites like YouTube, and communities across social media became echo chambers for false memories. The Mandela Effect wasn't named by scientists. It was named by a paranormal researcher, Fiona Broome, who described the shared false memory of Mandela's death in 2010. She created a website where others could post similar experiences, and post they did. Suddenly, there were hundreds, thousands of examples. Fruit of the Loom logo, cornucopia or not. Febres versus Fabries. Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Or was it magic mirror? The more people talked, the more convinced they became. And as their stories spread, so did the effect. Memory, already fragile, was now at the mercy of viral misinformation. Science responds. So, what does science say? Cognitive psychologists explain the Mandela Effect using concepts like 1. Confabulation. When the brain fills in missing information based on logic, not fact. 2. Source amnesia. When you remember something, but forget where you heard it, making it feel like first-hand memory. Third schema, theory. Our brains build mental frameworks, schemas, and use them to make sense of the world. Example, you expect the Monopoly Man to have a monocle because he looks like Mr. Peanut, so your brain fills it in. 4. Social reinforcement. The more people around you agree, the more confident you feel, even if you're all wrong. Studies show memory can be changed just by hearing someone else's version. So, is the Mandela Effect just a mental trick? Maybe. But some people believe there's more going on. Much more. Alternate realities and the quantum mind. What if we told you the Mandela Effect isn't a memory issue, but a reality issue? One popular theory suggests we are experiencing reality shifts, jumping between alternate timelines. In one universe, Nelson Mandela died in the 80s. In another, he lived. You somehow moved from one to the other. Sounds crazy? Well, even quantum physics hints at stranger things. The many worlds interpretation suggests that every quantum event spawns a new universe, one where each possibility plays out. So maybe there's a timeline where it's Berenstain, not Berenstain. The Monopoly Man has a monocle. Weirder still, some link the Mandela Effect to CERN, the European Particle Physics Lab. They claim that CERN's experiments like smashing particles at near light speed, maybe tearing holes between realities. There's no evidence of this. If you want to explore what CERN is really doing and whether it could affect our reality, check out my detailed video on CERN. The link is in the description. Mass confusion or mass awakening. To skeptics, the Mandela Effect is just a fancy name for bad memory. To believers, it's proof that reality is not what it seems. Some say it's evidence we're living in a simulation, and the glitches are beginning to show. Others think it's part of a collective awakening, a sign that the human mind is beginning to perceive multiple dimensions. Either way, the Mandela Effect forces us to ask how much of your memory is real, how much of your past is constructed, and if your memories don't match reality, does that make you wrong? Or does it mean reality is incomplete? Final thoughts, memory, mystery, and meaning. The Mandela Effect isn't just about cartoons or logos, it's about trust. Can you trust your own mind, your memories, your sense of what's real? In a world filled with deep fakes, misinformation, altered timelines, and infinite data, memory may be the last fragile thing that makes us us. Maybe the Mandela Effect is a quirk of human psychology. Maybe it's a glitch in the matrix. Or maybe it's something we haven't even begun to understand. But one thing is clear. You can close your eyes, rewind the past, and be completely confident, and still be completely wrong. Reality is not only stranger than we imagine, it may be stranger than we can imagine. If you want to know what's happening inside CERN, you can watch my detailed video by clicking here. Thanks for watching.